I'm Jamie Hooper with the Home Advantage team and RE/MAX Select Properties, and today we're here to talk about the April 2024 sales statistics. But before we do that, I'd just like to remind you, if you get any value out of these videos, enjoy them at all, maybe just press a thumbs up, make a comment, or even subscribe to our YouTube channel. So what the story of the month of April is rising inventories, meaning there are more houses for sale in Vancouver. Inventories are at their highest level since August of 2020, right in the beginning of the pandemic. So during the whole pandemic, we have had a shortage of houses to sell, and that's what's been fueling the market along. Even though sales were lower than they've been, the lower parts of the market have been sellers' markets for the last 3 to 4 years. So if we have a look at the statistics here for the detached house sales for the month of April, we'll see what we'll see here. We've got some variations, but let's talk about what each of these numbers means first of all. So list to sell ratios behind us here. That's the first one. We talk about it every month, but there's 3 types of markets: a seller's market, which is anything 20% and up; a buyer's market, I should say a balanced market, which is between 12 and 20%, and a buyer's market, which is less than 12%. And what those numbers mean, the percentages are the percentage of the amount of homes sold compared to how many are for sale each month. So you can have a look. We've got some sellers markets in North Van, east side of Vancouver, and in Ladner. They're all above 20%. In Tawasin, Richmond, west side, they're all balanced markets. And then when we see in West Van, that's considered a buyer's market. But what we don't see on here, if you look at the next column, is where it's a buyer's market up until. You see, all of these markets have 2 types of markets, but there's a drop-off point, which we picked up, where it changes from an extreme buyer's market to changes from an extreme seller's market to a buyer's market. For instance, the west side of Vancouver is a seller's market up to 4.5 million. When you get above it, it just drops off and becomes an extreme buyer's market. East side of Vancouver, same thing to 2.5 million. And as you read down that column, all of those places are extreme sellers markets until you hit that number, and it changes. The next column is for how many properties sold either above or at asking price. And you can see that in North Van and Ladner, 50% of the properties are selling either at asking price or above, which indicates that you must have seller's market conditions. And most of that activity, when you see it happening, is below the price of 2.25 in Ladner, for instance. Or the 30% that sold above asking happened below 4.5 million on the west side. Next indicator is median days on the market, the amount of days that it took for homes to sell. You can see that the low point is Ladner with 4 and West Van with 23. And then the last column, percentage of asking price. What percentage of the seller's asking price did they achieve in each area? The big winners are the east side and Ladner, and the lowest is West Van. Flipping over to the next page, we've got the condo townhouse sales. I'm not going to go through each of these ones. You now know how to read them after I went through the detached ones, because I don't want to put a bunch of people to sleep here. But the condo townhouse market is more active because it's just more affordable. So it has remained stronger than the detached housing market over the last 4 years since the pandemic happened. So what's the outlook for the rest of the year? Well, we've got some things coming up. There's another bank meeting in June. It sounds like they're going to hold the rate steady. There's still inflation concerns. And just the amount of product coming on the market, is that going to continue? If that continues at that pace, at some point that's going to have to slow down the market, and some prices are going to have to soften. So we'll keep our eyes on those 2 things over the summer months. I'm Jamie Hooper with the Home Advantage team and RE/MAX Select Properties, and we'll be back to do another video soon.